This is StoryLink Radio. Our stories are presented before a live audience, then recorded for the StoryLink Radio podcast for your on-demand listening pleasure. Please visit StoryLinkRadio.com for show notes, to find out how to join our live audience, and for lots of free stuff, including free audiobooks and much more. This episode is the next chapter in MORTE D'ARTHUR. Please remember to visit www.storylinkradio.com. Chapter 17. Yet more of the same battle, and how it was ended by Merlin. When Sir Arthur and King Ban and Bors beheld them and all their knights, they praised them much for their noble cheer of chivalry, for the hardiest fighters that ever they heard or saw. With that they addressed them of 14 noble knights, and said unto the 3 kings they would break their battle. These were their names: Leonces, Pheriance, Ulfius, Brastius, Ector, Kay, Lucas the butler, Griffin, le Fils de Dieu, Mariette de la Roche, Guinas de Blois, Briante de la Forest Sauvage, Bellos, Morians of the Castle of Maidens, Flanedrius of the Castle of Ladies, Laciens, that was King Bors' godson, a noble knight, Ladinas de la Rus, Emaros, Chorus, Graciens le Castletin, one Blois de la Casse, and Sir Cogrevance de Gore. All these knights rode on afore with their spears on their thighs, and spurred their horses mightily as the horses might run. And the 11 kings, with part of their knights, rushed with their horses as fast as they might with their spears. And there they did on both parties marvellous deeds of arms. And so came into the thick of the press Arthur, Ban, and Bors, and slew downright on both hands, that their horses went in blood up to the fetlocks. But ever the 11 kings in their host was ever in the visage of Arthur. Wherefore Ban and Bors had great marvel, considering the great slaughter that there was. But at the last they were driven aback over a little river. With that came Merlin on a great black horse, and said unto Arthur, Thou hast never done. Hast thou not done enough? Of 70,000 this day hast thou left alive but 15,000. And it is time to say, Ho! For God is wroth with thee, that thou wilt never have done. For yonder 11 kings at this time will not be overthrown, but an thou tarry on them any longer, thy fortune will turn, and they shall increase. And therefore withdraw you unto your lodging, and rest you as soon as ye may, and reward your good knights with gold and silver, for they have well deserved it. And there may no riches be too dear for them, for of so few men as ye have, there were never men did more of prowess than they have done today. For ye have matched this day with the best fighters of the world. That is truth, said King Ban and Bors. Also said Merlin, Withdraw you where ye list, for this 3 year I dare undertake they shall not dare you, and by then ye shall hear new tidings. And then Merlin said unto Arthur, These 11 kings have more on hand than they are aware of. For the Saracens are landed in their countries, more than 40,000, that burn and slay, and have laid siege at the castle Wandersborough, and make great destruction. Therefore dread you not this 3 year. Also, sir, all the goods that be gotten at this battle, let it be searched, and when ye have it in your hands, let it be given freely unto these 2 kings, Ban and Bors, that they may reward their knights withal, and that shall cause strangers to be of better will to do you service at need. Also, you be able to reward your own knights of your own goods whensomever it liketh you. It is well said, quoth Arthur, and as thou hast devised, so shall it be done. And when it was delivered to Ban and Bors, they gave the goods as freely to the knights as freely as it was given to them. Then Merlin took his leave of Arthur and of the 2 kings, for to go and see his master Blease, that dwelt in Northumberland. And so he departed and came to his master, that was passing glad of his coming. And there he told how Arthur and the 2 kings had sped at the great battle, and how it was ended, and told the names of every king and knight of worship that was there. And so Blease wrote the battle word by word, as Merlin told him how it began, and by whom, and in likewise how it was ended, and who had the worse. All the battles that were done in Arthur's days, Merlin did his master Blease do right. Also he did do right all the battles that every worthy knight did of Arthur's court. And after this, Merlin departed from his master, and came to King Arthur, that was in the castle of Badagraine, that was one of the castles that stand in the forest of Sherwood. And Merlin was so disguised that King Arthur knew him not, for he was all befurred in black sheepskins, and a great pair of boots, and a bow and arrows, and a russet gown, and brought wild geese in his hand, and was on the morn after Candlemas Day. But King Arthur knew him not. "Sir," said Merlin unto the king, "will you give me a gift?" "Wherefore," said King Arthur, "should I give thee a gift, churl?" "Sir," said Merlin, "ye were better to give me a gift that is not in your hand than to lose great riches. For here in the same place where the great battle was, is great treasure hid in the earth." "Who told thee so, churl?" said Arthur. "Merlin told me so," said he. Then Ulfius and Brastias knew him well enough and smiled. "Sir," said these two knights, "it is Merlin that so speaketh unto you." Then King Arthur was greatly abashed, and had marvel of Merlin, and so had King Ban and King Bors, and so they had great disport at him. So in the meanwhile there came a damosel who was an earl's daughter. His name was Sanam, her name was Leonors, a passing fair damsel. And so she came thither for to do homage, as other lords did after the great battle. And King Arthur set his love greatly upon her, and so did she upon him. And the king had ado with her, and gat on her a child. His name was Bor, that was after a good knight, and of the Table Round. Then there came word that the King Rience of North Wales made great war on King Leodegrance of Cameliard, for which thing Arthur was wroth, for he loved him well, and hated King Rience, for he was always against him. And so by the ordinance of the three kings that were sent home unto Benwick, all they would depart for dread of King Claudas, and Phariance, and Antemus, and Gratian, and Leonces of Payan, with the leaders of those that should keep the king's lands. Check back soon for the next chapter of MORTE D'ARTHUR. Thank you for listening to StoryLink Radio. If you like what you've just heard, we hope you will subscribe to our podcast and pass along our web address, www.storylinkradio.com. Be sure to visit our website for show notes, to find out how to join our live audience, and for lots of free stuff, including free audiobooks and much more. Join us next time for another story from StoryLink Radio.